Hello, hello team. How are you? Happy Friday. Welcome to the stream. We're a little bit earlier today, which means we can stream for a little bit longer before I have to pick up the kids. I'm trying something new today, so you might have to bear with me a little bit. So I always stream on YouTube and Twitch, and those of you who have watched in the past will know I often struggle with trying to get I'm quite new to streaming, so I first tried to get a merged chat, then I managed to get a merged chat so that YouTube and Twitch were showing, but then I wanted it to display on the stream so that each channel or on each what am I trying to say? YouTube people could see Twitch's chat and vice versa. Managed to sort all that out, and then I kind of thought maybe I should be streaming vertically on YouTube because I feel like 90% of people are going to be watching on their phones, albeit I don't really get any viewers, so 90% of one is less than one. But anyway, I have managed to set up, I think, a vertical stream on YouTube, although it's very difficult to test. But I certainly don't have a merged chat anymore, so we're kind of back to square one with that. And by what I mean that I only have Twitch chat at the minute. I can't even see YouTube chat, but I don't know how active people are in YouTube chat when they're watching on their phone. I guess we'll find out, but it is the first one and it is a bit of a test. So anyway, with that out of the way, we are back to doing some runs. So we've been doing some runs lately, trying some different strategies. We are at a place in our streaming journey, in our speedrunning journey, should I say, where we are doing practice runs. Still yet to complete a run, so that remains the goal. That will always be the goal, is to try and complete a run. Anyway, just trying to sort out some lights. Also, if anyone has any tips, if there are any streamers that are watching and they know how to stream better than I'm managing to do it, please let me know. Just give me 2 seconds and then we will get underway. Now my lights aren't working. Anything that can go wrong, eh? On my phone, doesn't even show that I'm live for some reason, which is not a good thing. Oh, it does. And it's in vertical. Oh, that's good. That's positive. Cool. Anyway, let's get cracking then. I can't get these lights to work, but you didn't come here to watch that, did you? So, as I say every stream, it's quite lonely streaming here alone. So please feel free to say hello. I'd much rather chat to you than chat to myself. So yeah, let's get cracking. Nope. So the last stream, I always talk about this, but I always assume that I don't get any repeat viewers, so I guess it doesn't matter. But one of the resource issues that I have in my speedrun practice is blood grease, right? So there's a limited resource of blood grease. It's RNG dependent because you pick up the crafting materials for the blood grease. And you need blood grease for some of the boss strats, basically. However, I thought you needed blood grease for because some of the bosses are like scripted. And I thought you needed blood grease for Radahn, Morgott, and Fire Giant. But the other day I ran out of blood grease and I didn't want to end the run. So I attempted Radahn without blood grease because I didn't have a choice. And the script worked exactly the same as with blood grease. Which is doesn't sound like a massive discovery. But it is. And I'll tell you why. Because it means that I cannot use blood grease on Radahn and save that blood grease for Morgott, which is harder. What I also need to do at some point is I need to attempt all of the strats without blood grease. Because it might be this case that all of them work alright without blood grease, and then we're really cooking, because then we could actually get a run on the board. Wouldn't be fast, but the first goal is to complete a run. So this run is kind of split into 3 sections, really. The run, obviously, the attempt is to get the run in under an hour. Oh, cancel. Nice. The attempt is to get the run in under an hour, so I kind of split the run into 3 sections, 3 20-minute sections. As close to it as makes sense, with natural breaks in the run. So the first 20 minutes effectively is all set up.
And I can alter that to your lot then. Why not? I am Carl.
So the first 20 minutes, that is what is a little bit annoying about this run, is a 20-minute setup before you get into any of the action. And believe me, there's still plenty of time that you can lose in that setup. There's a couple of little tricky skips. 2 root resin there, unfortunately. So there's Celia skip, which is pretty difficult, although other streamers make it look incredibly easy. And then there's a little skip on the way to DTS. The other thing that I'm very out of practice with is all the menuing.
Have they, sir? But you, I can play turning to aid you. You need to the foot. Then it said summon me. Ah, I bequeath. It will summon torrent. Treat him with respect.
So the menuing is something that, when you're not doing runs, is very difficult to practice. So like real speedrunners can do that, like setting up the spectral steed ring a hell of a lot quicker than I can. The one good thing about the Celia skip is it happens very early in the run, about 5 minutes in. And also, I think what I need to do is not get too hung up on my splits for the beginning of the run. Because ultimately, I've never even completed one, so if I'm a bit behind by the Celia skip, so what? Oh, speaking of splits, you'll probably see my split counter in the corner is saying 1 run, and there's obviously no save splits. Hey, Julius, welcome to the stream. I don't have Discord, Julius, and every stream I do, I get a different person. I won't use the word scammer telling me to join them in Discord, so I won't be doing that, but thank you for joining. Yeah, as I was saying, I cleared the splits because I downloaded the splits from a different runner. And it had all their times in it, so I wasn't getting a true representation as to whether I was on good pace or not for me. So we're using my splits now. With this being the first time I'm doing that, it looks like I've got nothing to compare myself to. So on the plus side, by definition, this run will be a PB. But it also means this is the silliest skip, ladies and gentlemen. It's going annoyingly bad. Hopefully this resets me on the tree. That's good that it's done that. Okay, saved it-ish. Yeah, sorry. So the only bad thing about the splits means that come on, man. That was annoying. As it means that until I complete a run, I'll never have a sum of best or anything like that. I do like to be at this race before 5:30, before 5:30, so I'm a little bit off the pace. Also, in my very best split, I've done that section under 5.
Whereas there is, but I can take gathering. At my hand.
But we're not going to sweat it. We're just going to crack on. We're going to attempt to finish this run, even if it takes 2 hours, which I don't have. So it takes 2 hours. We'll finish it. You get the gist. By the way, as I always say, if there is any issues with the audio or the visuals, please let me know, because if you don't tell me, I won't know. And I have streamed before for an hour and then gone to watch the VOD back and realised my mic channel was muted. Right, we're on the way for the Somber 5. That is the reason for this little detour. We got it. That is epic. Chat, that's unbelievable. So that's some menu in there. When you pick up the Somber 5, you instantly get put in combat, which cancels you out of the map. So you have to fast travel before the game recognizes that you're in combat. And I very rarely hit that. And if not, you have to ride back out the cave, out of combat, until you can open the map again. And that, no exaggeration, probably takes a good 20 seconds. Crows never ever get poisoned here. I sometimes get poisoned here. Got the little cancel there, that's nice. Didn't get the bonus. Oh, that wasn't too bad of a section. Ironically, I'm actually a little bit annoyed that I cleared the splits now because this run's not going too badly. Famous last words. But yeah, I reckon this would be looking quite good. And what that also means is that these splits will I'll forever be below these splits in future runs. Which is a little bit annoying. That's fine. There's definitely time to be saved from selling it. Another thing that's been happening is I keep getting lost in the misted woods, which is very annoying. And one other thing I do need to fix is the splits that I downloaded, the split file. The run is the same run, but it's some slightly different routing. So at some point the splits will get mixed up. But I don't usually get far enough into the run for that to happen, so I can't remember exactly where it is. Right. This is where I often get lost. Yeah, I'm lost again. Okay, here we are.
Welcome. Well, you please. I'm hungry.
Right, the annoying thing there is there's a couple of extra root resins in those woods that I missed. Well, there we have it. Keep going. Get to practice that bit. I should clip that one. Just keep looking behind me because I think my wife's going to get home from work anytime soon. Is it this bush that's normally got there? Is that root resin? Well, didn't get any root resin this time anyway. This is actually how I managed to realise that Radahn didn't need blood grease, because if you only get 2 root resin, you could only craft 2 blood grease. And if you can only craft 2 blood grease, then obviously you can only use 2 blood grease. Frustratingly, the whole point was like sometimes you end up with 5 blood grease. And that would mean I would have multiple attempts at Morgott. But I won't have that. Because I will... what I could do, though, I could use this as an experiment to see what Morgat is like without any blood grease. Which means we'd then have 2 for Fire Giant. I think Fire Giant will be the sticky point regardless, because the script or the strategy obviously doesn't work. Well, the strategy is incredibly tight even with blood grease, and the problem with Fire Giant is he's so tanky that if you try and kill him outside of the strat, it takes forever. So obviously he's doable, but it very much isn't a speed run. I need to know where to get more root resin from. I wonder if there's any in here. I should just pick up random materials. What are this shit, isn't there? No root resin though. Oh, it's gonna trigger my aggro in it. No. What? What is that? Wow. Now that is some absolute BS, man. I'm not having that. Jesus Christ. I think I got memed then, gang. Sorry if you can hear that construction, by the way. I feel like every time I stream at the minute, some flat in my block is doing some building works. I feel like they're literally banging on this wall. So many row of fruit, so many earthly flower. That's going to trigger, yeah. Right. How's that different? You tell me. Anyone want to tell me how that's different? Because I am all ears. What I think we need to do is get to a point where I can at least complete runs. And then I roughly usually have about an hour to an hour and a half every day to stream. Give or take, depends on the day of the week. I can then just make this a daily attempt and we just power through, and the time we get is the time we get. Like, I am a big fan of Lil Laggy, I think he's an amazing streamer, and he does a weekly randomizer speed run. I could do a daily non-randomized speed run, which, because I'm not at his level. Getting better at that. Famous last words. That can be a sticky jump at times. Right. So that's 2. Only 2 greasers. So the goal normally is to have killed Draco Sentinel or DTS by 20 minutes. And I am at nearly 18, and I have not even got to EG yet. So. Oh, just gonna have a quick drink. Quick check on YouTube, see if anyone's there. Nope. Just wanted to see if anyone was chatting. If anyone does join, well, there's no one there, so there's no point in saying it. I was going to say, if anyone does join on YouTube, I won't be able to see a chat. And I'm saying that to nobody. On the one good hand, I think the last 3 or 4 runs, we have beat DTS first time. It's quite a nice place to be. If anyone is watching, I would really appreciate a follow. We're trying to get to 50 followers. That's my goal. Why is there no root resin anywhere? I need to check the wiki for root resin location. I was watching an Aggie stream the other day. He kind of went, "You go really wide here." I feel like he went round the back there to get up here, which I don't want to risk in the middle of a run. But it meant that he didn't take any aggro from this chap. Which doesn't really matter, it just slows down this run because you've got to manage your stamina bar the whole time. See, now I'm out of aggro just now. Oh, hello, frame drop. Okay, we're literally just about to hit. Right, we're over 20 minutes and we are just hitting Altus. So we are probably a good couple of minutes away from DTS, but we move. Any root resin in Altus? That's another thing. I feel like the big streamers, they're actually easier for them because they can be just saying to the chat right now, "Chat, someone tell me where root resin is," or "Chat, somebody clip that," or blah 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 blah. I'm flying solo, team. Golden rower. I've been memed by these fuckers before as well. Which is very bad, because the run back is EG Grace. Can you imagine? tell you what, I'm trying to move house at the minute. I'm trying to buy a house. And when I get in my new house, I need a better chair because you can see what I'm working with. It's basically like a wooden dining chair. It's definitely not healthy. Oh, look at that. We're well over 2 minutes away. It's going to be more like 3. It's alright, it's nice to have a conservative split. Oh. There's a little skip here. Nice. Mushroom. More than 3 minutes. It's going to be like 4. Well, the world record's off, gang. That's the first time that's happened in a while. Would be this run though, wouldn't it? Not really a hard stop, but I do need these. Do need those runes, so okay. That's pretty bad RNG, but we're through it. Just the 4.5 minutes down. That was some decent menuing. Okay. Weesh. Not the quickest fight in the world. But first try.
So here, perhaps you.
Annoying. Okay. That's alright. A couple of first time kills. We've got to take that, haven't we? Alright, so Radahn is a funny one. Like I say, we're not going to be using... Not going to be using the blood grease. But it's still RNG dependent anyway. Bad RNG. We didn't get the stagger. Yeah. Bad. Bad news bears, that was. Right, we'll go again. So that is possibly a reason why the blood grease is helpful. Because I didn't get this. Just the blood. The thing is, though, blood grease doesn't increase stagger damage, I don't think. So I don't know if the blood grease would have made a difference to that stagger. I think what it would have done, though, is he would have died. That's the main difference. As if there was a proc. Oh, a jig, no. Wrong. That's the wrong place to travel to. Stream started well, didn't it, gang? And it's just gone. It's just gone awful ever since. I suppose the key thing is we're still in it. That was a good one. That wasn't bad, that.
Smouldering with thy meager flame, cower in fear of the night. The hand. Your eye, it's tightly guarded. Oh, the guards, you'll breach the cup.
Quit out too fast. Quit out too fast. That's the whole mess. Should have done that before. Haven't rested either.
The guards haven't you'll slip. Of course.
Just thinking, if I'm going to sit at that grace anyway, I might as well use it to level up. Because if I die here, it's obviously a lot of runes. It's kind of another run under, really. Unless I'm lucky and I can pick them up again. Oh, good God. Yeah, that's one for future. Definitely level up at that race. Remember that. Because if I get memed by this bird, or this bird, it's a long run back. Jesus, bloody hell. Whew, made it. The thing is, I have to sit at this grace. Well, I have to sit. I have to light this grace anyway, in case I die to Godric, obviously. So what I've been doing is leveling up here. Oh, sorry, Rigaldo Silva. I didn't answer you, did I? So you quit and join. There's loads of reasons why you need to do that. So usually de-aggro. So in that case, you quit out because it's faster than waiting for Godric to speak. You quit out to de-aggro. You quit out when you're opening doors because the animation to wait for the door is slower, because the timer that I'm using is in-game time. So what I mean by that is you'll see that when I do a quit out, the timer stops, which is why it's quick. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Yeah, well, I'm basically a speedrun practice. So I am on a speedrun, although this is not very fast. Look, so I've quit out there, timer stopped. And then when I load back in, it will go again. So we're practicing. The idea is to try and complete it under an hour. We're way off the pace. But we're practicing to get to that goal, basically. Anytime, man. Just ask whatever you want. I much prefer chatting to you than chatting to myself. Where you from, dude? Yeah, exactly. So all speedruns go by in-game time. And speedrun rules, like if you submit, there's a website called speedrun.com, I don't know if you know it, but you have to display a timer for the run to be valid. If you submit it, you have to film it and you have to display a timer. South Africa, man, I've always wanted to go to South Africa. My wife's been a few times, but I've never had the pleasure. Whereabouts? It's one of the capitals, right, is it? I can't remember. Is there like 3 or 4 capitals? Sorry, my South African geography knowledge isn't great. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's one thing. I'm in London, and it's not. Yeah, that's one thing I miss. Is obviously there's no sea in London. There's no coast in London. I used to work for. I work for a gym chain right now. That's my day job. And I used to work for a company called Virgin Active, which I don't know if you've heard of it, but they've got loads of gyms in South Africa. And because of that, there's loads of people that transfer over from South Africa to the UK business. So I've got a lot of kind of UK colleagues, or had, I don't work for them anymore, but I had a lot of UK colleagues and friends from South Africa. And a lot of the people, English people that I knew, would have opportunities to go and work out there as well, which is pretty cool, but I never got the chance. Do you play Elden Ring? Or have you played it? Oh, did you? Sick. Whereabouts in London did you live? 4, 5, 6. Damn, it's 5. Ah. That's not fast, is it? It's my favourite game. How are you getting on with it? I absolutely love it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just a very optimized speed run, that's all. Like, I was the same as you the first time I played it. I just took it nice and slow. I basically 100% at it the first time. Shit, that's not supposed to happen. 100% at it first time, but I had no idea. Obviously, the build's not optimized. I didn't really know what weapon to use, what stats to use. But obviously with the speed run, yeah, literally just, you know exactly where to go, what to level up, when to level it up, what weapon to use. This next boss, by the way, I don't know if you've got this far because I don't want to do spoilers, but it's not the hardest boss at all, like in a normal run. But in the speed run, it's basically a bit of a game breaker. I'm gonna actually try a different strategy on him, see what happens. Oh my god. Trust me when I say that never happens.
Allow me, you are unprevented. The thorn, a husk, the only way and become my purpose. So I'd like to the flame then and guide you.
Oh, wow.
Shall I to let my share them with me? Your thoughts, your
Wanting to make it even harder. That's impressive. That is impressive. Have you played, I presume you've played From Software games before then? There's surely nobody who... Yeah. I was going to say, there's no way, if it's someone's first Souls game, that they're trying to keep it hard. So how are you finding Elden Ring compared to Dark Souls 3? Or any of the Dark Souls, really? What's your favourite? Yeah, that's why I said Dark Souls 3. I feel like that's most people's favourite. So you prefer Dark Souls 3 to Elden Ring so far? Sorry, I've just checked my phone 1 sec. Yeah, I think Elden Ring. Have you played Bloodborne and Sekiro or no? Yeah, I mean, I suppose the thing is, yeah, you're right in the sense that because it's open world, you can obviously, in that way it's easier because you can go away, you can come back, you can level up, you know, and hit the boss like when you're a bit more leveled up. But the only thing I would say is, I think some of the bosses in Elden Ring, I don't want to do any spoilers because you've probably seen it all anyway, but I think Elden Ring has the hardest bosses. Have you got the DLC? Because I think, again, I think it's so... It's not the right way. Oh, no. Oh, God. Wow. Yeah, the DLC is absolutely incredible. Like, the best DLC. I mean, it's like a game in itself. Like, I don't know if you know, but, like, even the DLC was nominated for Game of the Year. Even though it's just a DLC. It's ridiculous. Well, I think, obviously, you're always going to find the earliest Souls games that you played the hardest. For example, like, my first was Bloodborne. And I found that the hardest. But then when you get used to the mechanics and so on and so forth, then obviously like the whole concept gets easier, if that makes sense. I think the reason Elden Ring's my favourite is, like, I've played all the others enough, not loads of times, I've played some of them more than others. But because they're quite linear, they are fairly repetitive. So obviously you've got different builds, but, you know, if you play through 5-6 times... Like, I've completed Bloodborne, for example, with every single weapon in the game. I've done a run with every weapon you can get. Because there's not that many. But Elden Ring, like, there's so much variety. Because it's open world as well, you can go in so, like, whatever order you want. So many more weapons. Like, and there's just a silly amount of bosses. Like, so with, I think the base game there's 165 bosses. And including the DLC there's 207 bosses. Which is absolutely obscene. Like, there's speedrunners out there who do, like, all 207 boss run, and it's like 4 hours long. It's just so much variety. Like, I've done this speed run, I don't know, 50 times. But because it's a very, very specific route, and it's any percent, so it's only the required bosses. Like, I barely even know the game. If you watch, like, some streamers and they're going, you know, all over the map, I don't even remember that. For context as well, the next boss, so this speedrun specifically, I've never ever managed it, never like actually completed it. And this next boss is as far as I've ever got, and I've only ever got there once before. So we'll probably get a little bit nervous when we get near it, because after that boss, the only, like, hard stop is the final boss. So, in theory, I can complete the run. Which would be mental. I'm also a bit conscious that I've only got half an hour to do that. But how frustrating would it be if I got all the way to the end, but I had to leave because I had to go and get my kid and couldn't finish the run. Spoken like the world's best dad there. I really do want to get my kids, don't worry. I've just never got this far in the run before. I mean, if I do get to the end... Nah, it's fine. I'm not expecting to get to the end. I didn't expect to get that skip first time. Yeah, that is a good point, actually, about Dark Souls, but I think you and I have different definitions of the words fun, because, my god, I used to get so pissed off with some of the runbacks. Some of the boss runbacks, oh my god. Did you play the Dark Souls 2 DLC? The Frigid Outskirts, or Horsefuck Valley as they call it, where it's pitch white and you just get slammed by the reindeer. And then at the end of it, it's the duo, like, tiger boss fight. Fuck that. Yeah, so my splits are all messed up at the minute because I've done snow skip, but it's not registered. Yeah, though I wouldn't. It's not really worth it, to be honest. Yeah, so this next boss, it's the hardest boss for the speed run, regardless of the materials that you need. It's just ridiculously specific. And then the second thing about it is, I have 2 blood grease and basically this, what am I trying to say? The scripted fight. It's a scripted fight, but it uses a blood grease, which basically means I've got 2 attempts. Whoops.
Well, then I presume.
Oh, nice, mate. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't want to spoil it for you. Right, wish me luck. Fucked it up already. It's alright. It's okay. Okay. Right, it's not gone well. The script has not gone. We'll keep going. Can't get to that fort. This is fucked. Well, this is bad. Yep. Cool. Well, that means I got one more chance. Oh dear. Oh well, that's the end of that then. Oh, for fuck's sake. So frustrating when you just did a whole run. Dear oh dear, eh? Oh well. Well, I'll tell you what, but the one good thing is... Oh my god. Is I can test... I can test the strat without the grease. See what happens. Thanks for the follow, man. It's not that I'm not allowed to die. It's not that I'm not allowed to die, it's just basically I've run out of grease. Which is basically the fight's a scripted fight. The fight's a scripted fight, so basically what I mean by that is it's like basically identical every single time. It's just incredibly specific. And for that script to work, you need blood grease. And you only get a certain amount of blood grease per run. And once you've run out, like I've run out now, means the script won't work. So I'm attempting to carry the run on by just fighting him without the grease, but it won't work. But I'm just trying stuff out because if I can figure out a way to do it without the grease, then I would be able to complete a lot more runs. Jesus. Alright, nice. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the follow, bro. Somehow the run's still going, you know? And I definitely am going to run out of time. Which is... Uh-oh. Definitely if I do that. is actually stressing me out, I think, more than losing the run is like running out of time to complete this run, because this will be the first ever completion. But we've learnt some valuable things. We've learnt that we can actually we can defeat Morgott and Fire Giant without Blood Grease and Radahn. Which is absolutely incredible, because it might be slow, but it means the runs are possible. Right, the goal is to try and get to the Ashen capital before I have to leave. And then we're just going to have to accept that. Really? Yes. Okay.
This world and death are you to commit? Very well, let my hand.
Let's go, let's go! Oh, God. Oh yeah, I forget, so the Godskin Duo is also a hard stop because of the sleep arrows. It's just not a difficult boss, I guess that's the difference. Jesus. So there's one of my sleep arrows gone.
something.
What's that? What the flip? Can you not sell things to him?
Something.
Hmm. That's annoying. Right, so I'm going to have to get through this one. Hopefully. What is this? Is this money? No. Right, well, we'll just see how we go, won't we? Okay, so we use one here. I forgot about that. Right, this is going to be the end of the run, I think, gang. Because yep, that's it. Because I've got no more sleep arrows. Okay, that's interesting. Because let me just test something. No, I don't rest EG though. I'm just trying to think, like, where did I lose runes that stopped me from upgrading? Because not having that upgraded definitely was a problem. Anyway, not a bad run. I mean, the time is bad, but we made it further than we've ever made it before. So anyway, I am going to go pick up my kids, cut the stream a little bit early because it feels like it makes sense. Thank you to everyone who joined. I'll never understand why people spend their time watching me, but I'm always incredibly grateful. And hopefully, if you've enjoyed this, you'll subscribe or follow. And I will see you again in the next one.